We're learning more tonight about the deadly stabbing of a woman early Sunday morning outside of a nightclub in Springfield. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday at 5 and welcome to Western Mass News. I'm Chris Pizzano.
And I'm Mary Wilson. The suspect turned herself into police Monday and faced a judge this morning. Western Mass News reporter Paris Dunford joins us live now with the latest details. Paris.
Chris, Mary, we're learning more details about that deadly stabbing from Sunday morning from court documents that we received earlier today. Lesh Marie Marin Vieira appeared in court Tuesday morning for her arraignment, charged with murder. Police say they responded to the area of Top Shelf nightclub around 2 a.m. Sunday morning for reports of a stabbing victim. When they arrived, they found a woman in the parking lot across the street. Court documents obtained by Western Mass News say she was stabbed multiple times, once in the left thigh, twice in the left hip area, twice in the rib cage, and once in the left bicep. She was taken to the hospital where she died from her injuries. Witnesses told police they saw two females get into a fight and a large crowd formed around them, and then the victim collapsed. Detectives say they reviewed video that shows the fight breaking out between the suspect and victim. They note that the victim can be seen repeatedly punching Marin Vieira in the head with a closed fist. They say that's when they see Marin Vieira start returning punches with a sharp object. Marin Vieira's defense attorney claims his client's actions were in self-defense.
No, Judge, this is a classic case of self-defense.
Court paperwork also states how the victim and suspect knew each other. Witnesses told police Marin Vieira and the victim had issues in the past, and the victim's son's father is in a relationship with Marin Vieira. Witnesses also told police the physical fight began in the bar of Top Shelf that night. Marin Vieira pleaded not guilty Tuesday morning, and a judge ordered her to be held without the right to bail. And Marin Vieira is scheduled to appear back in court on February 28th. Reporting live in Springfield, Paris Dunford for Western Mass News.